Hello, everybody. So, I found a very interesting video by Inside IIM Campus Conversations, where Mr. Saurabh Sen Gupta, ex VP Sales of Zomato, is talking about starting his career with the wrong job. Let's look at the video.
क्योंकि मैंने ना गलत नौकरी ले ली थी बात है तो एक एचआर कंसल्टिंग फर्म में जॉब लग गई मेरी। अब होता क्या है, बी स्कूल के अंदर घुस के सबको होता है कंसल्टिंग कंसल्टिंग करना है। मैकिंजी आ रही नहीं कैंपस में, आई एम अज्यूमिंग देयर वाज समबडी फ्रॉम बीसीजी हियर एज एंड एटी कर्नीज ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, एवरीबडी इज कमिंग टू कैंपस। तो वो एक होता है, बाद में समझ में आया दैट सो आई टुक अप दैट जॉब एंड विद इन फ्यू मंथ्स आई रियलाइज्ड ओ माय गॉड आई एम नॉट कट आउट फॉर दिस, right? Because there was too much of looking at other people's watch and telling them the time. I'm not criticizing consulting. All I'm saying is I wasn't meant for that. Which brings me to the question is identifying who you are, right? For example, at heart, I am a business development person. नहीं सकते तो आई फिगर्ड आउट वेरी अर्ली कि मुझसे ये प्रोजेक्ट एग्जीक्यूशन और क्लाइंट के सामने जाके जी हजूरी वो नहीं हो पाता है। विद इन 8 months आई डिसाइडेड दैट आई हैव टू मूव ऑन फ्रॉम। मेरा जो की टेक अवे था उस 8 महीने से वो ये था कि फिगरिंग आउट वेदर आई एम कट आउट फॉर वॉट आई हैव, बट द फर्स्ट जॉब दैट यू गेट ऑन अ वेरी सीरियस नोट इज अ मिशन टू फाइंड who you are naturally in your natural surroundings. Who would you be? आप एक क्लाइंट फेसिंग रोल में होना चाहते हो, आप ब्रांडिंग में होना चाहते हो, वो क्रिएटिव काम अच्छा लगता है। मेरे केस में फॉर्चुनेटली मेरे को कुछ महीनों में समझ आ गया। आई नो पीपल जिनको 9 साल में समझ नहीं आया। नाउ यू डिसाइड वेयर यू वांट टू बी। द अर्लियर यू स्विच नोइंग हु यू आर द बेटर इट इज़, बिकॉज बाद में जाके स्विच करने में क्या होता है कि इंडस्ट्री में जिसमें आप ऑपरेट, अनलेस यू स्टार्टअप ऑन योर ओन, वो इंडस्ट्री में ऐसे लोग बैठे हैं जो बहुत फेयरली दकियन उसी ख्यालात के हैं जिनको मोल्ड में आपको फिट करना है। अच्छा 4 साल मार्केटिंग का एक्सपीरियंस है।
So, let's bring in TMD over here and ask him some important questions about this. Hello, sir.
Hi.
So, my first question to you is how do I know that I'm in the wrong job and what are its symptoms?
Saurabh talked nicely about his experience in the campus and how people take the first job available or what they think is an ideal job in the campus. But after getting into the jobs, only you realize whether in the right job or in the wrong job. But now I want to go one step beyond what Saurabh said and ask some bigger questions, is to differentiate a symptom and a root cause, because any corrective action that you do must come from a root cause, isn't it?
Yes.
So symptoms are what you feel and see. And I'm going to talk a lot more about that later on. But the root cause is the real problem, and that's what we must fix. Every time there's a problem in the job doesn't mean you change your job. You need to know what the root cause is. The symptoms are not maybe the same for many, but the root cause may be different. And that's what focusing on the symptoms can delay the discovery of the root cause, and the symptoms may even increase. So it might even damage you by not doing a root cause analysis. Let's take 2 simple examples, and one very classic case, and all of us have been through that. You go to a doctor and you tell him that I have a stomachache. First expectation or the doctor, what he does is ask you some questions, and he is now guessing what the root cause is. Is it a gas problem or is it something serious? So in my friend's case, he went to a doctor and he thought it was a gastroenteritis problem, and you know what happened? After some time, the problem became very serious, and he went back to the doctor, and the doctor then finally diagnosed correctly as appendicitis, and he had to go through a surgery. Now here the root cause is appendicitis, and the symptom is stomachache. So you have to correlate these two. The other example I want to tell you is very common, happens, I'm sure it happens to you also. Suddenly customer calls and cancels an order. You're expecting the order. And suddenly there's a panic. Your boss calls you. The boss asks you, hey, what happened? I thought you're getting the order. And he thinks that maybe we should drop the price and somehow get the order. But your feeling is, no, it may not be that, it may not be the reason. What may be the reason is because he had some financial problems. Maybe we should give extra credit. Now, depending on the root cause, the solution that you will give, it will be different. I think this is the most important thing we need to understand, that don't jump whenever there is a symptom or a sign. It doesn't mean you have to take corrective action. You need to go to the root cause.
True. Agreed. So, if you could give me 5 major symptoms or root causes of the wrong job.
Yeah, I think this is a very valid question, Akshita. I'm going to put all the five for you to see quickly because I've just spent a lot of research. I brought in my experience also. There are five major signs or symptoms, right? First is when you are stressed out in a job, you sleep very little. You're anxious about whatever work is pending. It goes on in your mind round and round and round, and you can't sleep.
Yeah.
The second is you're scared of going to office. You feel that if you go to office, suddenly boss will call you or somebody will call you, and they feel that you'll be sacked. So you have a mental anxiety arising out of being sacked. Third is typically you're missing out deadlines repeatedly. For example, your daily reports are due at 10 o'clock in the morning. At 12 o'clock, boss calls you and asks you, hey, what happened to the report? So you're repeatedly missing your deadline. Fourth one is about missing targets. This is a serious issue. Many times there are monthly targets, you miss it 1 month, second month, third month. But suddenly it becomes a serious issue. So missing target is also good, is a clear indication or a sign.
Yeah.
The last one is suddenly you feel I have to look for a job desperately now because the company will sack me someday. Let me start worrying about it. These are typically five signs. They're not the root causes. As I said,
Yeah.
they're only the signs.
Yeah, but the major symptoms or signs are easy to detect. What about the minor? Could you give me some minor signs as well?
Yeah, very true, very true. Because the minor signs also tell you the major signs might come later on, but the
Yeah.
minor signs come first.
Yeah.
For example, you don't like to go to work in the morning and you want to apply for leave. I think this has happened to, say, many times to my friends, and suddenly they feel that they want to stay in the bed for some more time. Second, you feel bored. What does it mean? It means when you feel bored at work, you're looking at your watch and then saying, "When is the lunchtime? Can I go
Yeah.
and have a coffee? Can I go to?
Yeah.
Can I have a cigarette?" The third minor sign is the boss is irritated. Whenever you go and ask for help, he's making a face. You're really wondering what's wrong with him. I've not asked him too many times, but he's trying to avoid me. So that's the feeling you get. The fourth is suffocation. This is the overwhelming feeling you get sometimes. I go to office, I'm under tremendous pressure. My pending list is it's on increasing. People, you feel that people are piling on more and more work on you, and this is a very suffocation is a scary thing because it's very emotionally very powerful and depressing. The last minor sign is colleagues start avoiding you because some of colleagues know before you that something is not going right with you and the job and between you and your boss. So when you go to them, generally they avoid you because they think you're not a performer or they think you have some problems at work. So these are typically five minor symptoms, but these might occur first and the other ones, major one will occur a little later. I think that's the
Yeah.
point.
Absolutely, sir. So here we have spoken about the wrong job and the symptoms of the wrong job. In the next video, we'll be talking about, am I in the right job? What are its indicators? Thank you.